let us get into previewing. First team we're going to preview is Thibodaux High School out of Thibodaux, Louisiana. And if you'll excuse me, I will pull myself off of the screen now so we can take a look at these guys. Now, Thibodaux High School is, again, it's maybe 15, 20 minutes down the road from Houma, just north of Houma, home of Nicholls State University, which is also the home of the Manning Passing Academy. And Thibodaux High School itself is known for a couple of things. They were the first 5A state champions in Louisiana and back in 1991. That's kind of a significant point that I'm going to bring up here in just a second. Notable alumni from there would be Eric Endo. Let's see if I can pronounce this right. I'm sorry, Endos, Eric Endosek. I'm sorry, I apologize. Eric Endosek, who was an offensive lineman who played for LSU and went on to play in the NFL for Detroit, the Detroit Lions. They're also the alma mater of Kyron Lacey, most recently, former LSU wide receiver. And sadly, both of those gentlemen that I just mentioned were sadly died way too early. So look into them if you want to find out more information. They both died tragically young, but both of those were alumni from Thibodaux High School. Excuse me. Now, as I mentioned, Thibodaux High School was the very first 5A state champions in Louisiana, and this was back in 1991. So, as a way to honor that team and kind of pay tribute to the very first 5A state champions in Louisiana, I based this roster off of the 1991 Thibodaux High School roster. So, big shout out to one of the former players. Gosh, his name escapes me. I'll pull it up here in just a second. David Constant, who was an offensive lineman, who helped provide some of that information that I was able to get most of the roster from, and I used that as the core roster for this team. Again, I had to pull a few extra players from different years, but the core roster, the starters and most of the backups are going to be from that 91, representing, I should say, representing that 91 team is the more accurate way to put it. Because again, these individual ratings for the players aren't necessarily accurate, but it's what we're working with. So let's take a look at their uniforms real quick, and we're going to get into this here soon. So here is Thibodaux High School's home uniforms, and yes, they are basically a LSU carbon copy of their uniform design. Here's a picture of Thibodaux High School right there. You can kind of see uh, the uniform. Pretty good shot of their uniform. So these are, as you can see, these are very, very accurate, and they pretty much model themselves off of LSU. So their away uniforms are white and white. Now sometimes, of course, they might wear the yellow pants too, which you can absolutely do on here. But I included the white as an option. I generally like to include as many options as I can when I can. So here's their base away uniforms. Their home alternate uniforms have a white helmet with an all purple. So these all purples are based off of an all purple uniform that they do wear with white helmets, and there's no THS on this helmet. It's just the Tiger logo on there. Now these uniforms aren't 100% accurate. I believe there's a little embellishment on the side maybe that I could not replicate, but for the most part, this is their home alternate, and their home away is going to be all white. And once again, this is always an option here. And then for their fifth option, I went with I took a little bit of creative liberty on the fifth one. I gave them an all gold uniform, which I believe they do have an all gold, but I took a little bit of liberty with this, and I went with the tiger paw on the side of their helmet, which is what they used to use back in 1991. They used this logo on the side of their helmet, so their state championship team from 1991 would have had this logo on their helmet. So I decided to include that as kind of a nod to that team. And of course, what you could always do, you could easily do something like this. Excuse me, I've got coughing here. Oops, wrong one. I'm sorry. You could easily do something like this and basically recreate the 1991 uniform that way if you so desired. So that is an option. We're going to give them the home jersey here, but I'm going to go ahead and leave this helmet on as we jump into this to preview them real quick, and we'll just leave that like that. Or I tell you what, we'll go white helmet. Let's go all white on the defense, and yeah, we'll do this for their just to give a preview, so you can take a better look at that. All right, we're gonna jump in here real quick, and I'm going to we'll do night because most of these games are played at night, right? Friday Night Lights, and I'm gonna go through the roster here in just a second. So here's Thibodaux. Now that's here's another thing I should mention about the stadiums is when you're creating these stadiums. I apologize for the coughing, guys. You're only given a couple of pre-made stadiums that you can choose from, and there's one high school stadium that has a track around it, and that's it. So the stadium itself, I cannot change. I can't alter that. I can't modify that in any way, shape, or form. All I can affect is the field itself. So the field markings are what I'm customizing here. The stadiums themselves are all going to be the same. Just keep that in mind. All right, on to the roster real quick. We'll just do a quick run through the roster. So again, this is primarily the 91 team that we're representing here. You've got Ruben Brown as the starting quarterback, Jamie Rodrigue as the backup quarterback, number 5, and then Gerald Thibodeau is the third string quarterback. These are some guys I had to pull from later years. Running back, we've got Tremaine Johnson, number 28. He's a game player right here. As you can see, I've got um, some skill perks there on him. That's something that I did go in to these players, and I tried to add skill perks where I could, just to help, add some variety and some dynamic play to some of these players, so that it looks and feels a lot more dynamic and realistic. Jimmy Winston, number 24, is the backup running back, and we've got Priest Johnson, number 1. He's short, he's shifty, but he's fast, so watch out for him. Fullback is Jason Long, number 34. We've got another fullback here. Wide receiver, Roland Joseph, number 15. He's their number 1 receiver. We've also got Lance Bergeron, number 14. Yancey Benoit, number 85. Johnny Couillon. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, to be honest with you. I would say Couillon, but um, Couillon can also mean something else in Cajun. So if that's not quite how you pronounce it, I apologize, my man. Uh, who we got here? Sean Cortez, Scott Doucette, or Douce, Jared Johnson, tight end, number 84, Terrence Allen, Brad Benoit, Stephen St. Germain, Jamie Himmel. Here's a Shane Thibodeau playing for Thibodaux on offensive line. Mike Boudreau, Don Rodrigue, John Arsenault. There's some Cajun names for you. Brent Mayo. These are the types of names that I wanted to have in this game. So this is the level of authenticity that just adds to the atmosphere and adds to, the whole environment and everything involved with this. Chris Dugas, Josh Krieg, David Constant. This is the gentleman that provided the roster information for me from the 1991 season. So once again, shout out to him. Thank you for providing that. I could not have done this without you, my man. Thank you. Eric Goff at left edge. Ivory Reed. Gabe Watkins. Nathan Sanchez. He's a disruptor. Watch out for him. He will come up the middle and tear things apart. So watch out for him. You'll be seeing his name in some of these games pop up, I'm sure. Greg Gobert, Ron Wagner. I'm not going to go through every single person, but I do want to at least highlight some of these guys so you can take a look at them. Chris Rice, Corey Juno. Randall Carter at corner. Sean Thomas. Kendall Johnson. Donald Carter. Jason Thibodaux, another Thibodaux. You'll see a lot of players with the same last name as other players, and in most cases they're going to be related in some way, shape, or form. They may be either brothers or cousins or something like that. Sometimes on the same team, sometimes on different teams. So Shane Curry, Eric Alamo. Yes, that's Alamo. That's how that's pronounced. Looks like Alaman, but it's Alamo. Kevin Passman. And then let's see, we got ourselves a kicker here. And our punter, Jason Dedivo, Thomas Jorgensen. Some of these guys, again, some of these guys I had to pull. I believe the actual 91 team didn't have a punter. I believe their backup quarterback was the punter on 91. So some of these guys I had to pull again from different teams and whatnot. But there you go. That's pretty much the roster. The majority of this roster is based off of that 91 team that won the 5A state championship.
Stadium buzzing, kickoff team on the field, and we are ready to get this thing started.
So here we're just going to give you just a quick short gameplay, and then we'll move on to the next team. I just want you to kind of take a look at their uniforms in action. I want you to kind of see their field a little bit, and then we're going to move on to this next team here in just a second. But here's a good look at what we're looking at with the field. There we go. So you can get a feel of what these guys are going to look like and what the team's going to look like, the uniforms in action. There he goes. All right. I'll tell you what, let's do just a real quick instant replay, and I'm going to put it on here. This guy looks good. We'll go right here. Just give you a quick look at this uniform. So that's that helmet I was talking about. Show you some of the detail in it that I've done. And again, we're talking about a modern game with modern equipment and modern uniforms and everything. So these aren't going to be exact replicas of the 91 uniforms, but they'll be, I guess, what you call like a throwback version. And that's going to be true for all of these teams on here. So just another thing to bear in mind. But there's a look at that. And then we can take a quick look at this one. Just a real quick look, close-up look here. I've got the Tigers on the back and the name. So there you go. That should be good for that. All right. That's it for Thibodaux. We're going to move on to the next one here in just a second. Let me run to my intermission screen, and then I'll be right back as I set everything up for the next team that we're going to preview.